Okay, good day everyone. It's Total Investor here, everyone's favorite YouTube investment channel. Today, I'd like to discuss something that has not been getting a lot of publicity, but what I think is probably the most important thing that every investor and every trader should be looking at, and that is the American dollar. Okay. I posted this particular chart that you see in front of you right now on the blog, the Total Investor blog, and also on Twitter, which you might want to consider following. On it, it's basically showing the US dollar versus the Swiss franc. And it looks like, with this trend line, that the top peaked in April, and we have a double bottom here. It broke through the downtrend line, and it looks like it wants to move higher. Now this is back on the 11th. We're now on the 16th. It has gone higher, so that looks like it could be a bottom, at least on this chart, versus the Swiss franc. And down below here, this is what gold was doing versus the US dollar. We had a slow upward climb. That is the uptrend line. Guess where we are right now? We are below that trend line. Does that mean anything? Well, it should, because the US dollar is very important because it's related to everything, to trade, commodities, stock market, interest rates, you name it. Okay, now I want to take a look at the US dollar on a longer term. This is the US dollar index that you can trade futures on. It topped out at 104. This is going back to March 2020 when the stock market was at its lowest level due to the pandemic. Since that pullback here is traced back probably about 15 full points. That's a lot. And it looks like it's formed a double bottom. Okay, here and here. And could this be the start of an upward move? Possibly. If you notice here, the ADX line topped out and pulled back. That was the sign that this downtrend line had exhausted itself and had finished. And now we have another pullback downwards. So maybe this again is, another bottom here. We will have to wait and see. What's interesting here is that the red and green line are converging. So, again, another indicator that shows that maybe this is another bottom and we could be moving higher. RSI is at 51. That's bullish. Okay, again, this is a longer term chart. We're going back to the summer of 18, so that's 3 years out. Let's take a look at a shorter term one. This is a 6-month chart. And again, we're showing that we may have found bottom at around 89.50, give or take. Showing a nice rounded bottom. 10-day moving average is in green. The 50-day moving average is in blue. The commodity is above both, and it looks like they are about to cross. The DIs have crossed into bullish territory. RSI is into bullish territory. Now, why would I make such a big deal about the US dollar? Well, if the US dollar is going up versus all other currencies, what does that mean for commodities? Well, it means that commodities, because they are priced in US dollars, are going to be more expensive in those foreign currencies for foreigners. So if you're living in Japan and Europe and South America, worldwide, because all commodities are traded in US dollars, it makes it very expensive to them. So once commodities become more expensive, what happens to their demand? Well, they fall. If they fall, then obviously the price could or should fall in US dollars as well. Okay, so let's take a look at some of those particular commodities. The first one I want to look at is corn. Okay, it looks like we're forming a double top, just like we made a double bottom in US dollars, or the US dollar index. Here is a double top, or what could be a double top, in corn. Okay, we noticed that once it made the second top here, what happened to the relative strength? It just wasn't there. It was exhausted, so it moved back down. We will know for sure if this thing breaks the downtrend line and the moving averages cross and it moves lower. But RSI is at 48. That's a negative. The DIs have crossed. That's a negative. Okay, so it's not looking all that great for corn. Could be exhausted right now. Next, soybeans, very similar. We had a higher high. However, the RSI did not make a higher high. It was lower. So that gave us a bearish divergence. The RSI is below 50. Another negative. We're below the 10-day moving average and the 50-day moving average. Another bearish signal. The DIs have crossed into bearish. Another bearish signal. Okay. Canola. Not exactly the most popular commodity. That's not traded a lot compared to, say, corn, soybeans, or wheat, but the entire grain complex is looking very similar. Okay, canola, double top again. It did make higher highs, but the relative strength index did not make another high. It was actually lower, so that's another bearish divergence. The RSI is below 50. Below the 10-day moving average, below the 50-day moving average, and again, the DIs have crossed into negative. And again, as I said, almost all the grain complex is looking very similar to that. If we move over to the softs, such as coffee, this is where we're getting. It broke below the coffee, has been in an up move, and just recently it broke the upward trend line. It's below the 10-day moving average, although still above the 50. But this is like, one of the first signs that you get. Upward sloping RSI. It broke that trend line. Just touched below 50. We're pretty much at that at the neutral zone right now. However, if we look at the ADX, what happened here? The ADX peaked and dropped almost to the day here, where the coffee price peaked and now moving lower. Okay, here again, we're seeing like almost every single commodity doing this, and you will notice it in the precious metals, specifically gold. Gold has made a double bottom at around 1680, been in an uptrend ever since. That was back in probably the 1st of April. And just recently, a couple of days ago, it broke the trend line. Okay? Below the 10-day, and now today, even below the 50-day moving average. The RSI was trending up. It broke a couple of days, actually just before, right after the top. That's amazing. And it traded below 50. That's a negative. Okay, so lots of negatives. Here's another one. We'll look at what happened with the ADX line in black. It peaked out right here, right on the top, or actually just 2 days after the top in the price of gold. Okay, moved lower, and the DIs crossed into negative. Finally, copper. This copper's been on a tear for a long time, but if we look at this on a 6-month chart, upward trending, broke just a couple of days ago. It's now below its 10-day and the 50-day moving average. The RSI below 50 now. Okay, and interesting that I made higher highs here, but look what happened with the RSI. It did not make higher highs. That was its first warning that it was petering out, didn't have the same amount of strength, and right to the day. If you were looking at the ADX line, it peaked out 2 days after the top, and that gave you another warning that this was exhausting. Okay, finally we got another sell right here when the DI lines across into negative. Lots of negatives. Okay, so just beware. I'm not making any kind of financial predictions. I'm just giving you the information that you need to be aware of. Okay, a lot of people are saying if the commodities are going, Maybe that means something with the stock market as a whole, possibly, but it is something major, something very important, and just keep your eyes out, keep your eyes open, and watch out. Okay, be careful, be nimble, stay on your toes. Okay, again, I'm not offering any kind of financial advice. What I show you is for educational purposes, and it is very important. If you want me to look at specific charts, be it commodities, stocks, cryptocurrencies, let me know. Put your comments in the comment section below this video. I will either respond in the comment section, or if I think that it's something that everybody wants to know, I'll make another video about your comment. And by the way, if you want to know or keep track as to when I put out these YouTube videos, please do yourself a big favor and subscribe, okay? Because I don't know when I will be publishing the videos. They can happen at any time, at any day of the week. There's no set schedule, okay? So to be notified, subscribe to the YouTube, to the channel. All you have to do, go down to the George Washington icon on the bottom right-hand corner, click it, you will subscribe, okay? For whatever reason, people just don't do that. I don't know why, but they're missing out, okay? You can go back to the to this channel, the Total Investor channel, and you can see all of my past videos. Do so, do yourself a favor, because I've made some pretty good calls there, very informative, and I think that you will learn something there. Also, if you like this video, please big thumbs up, okay? And with that, I will see you in the next video. Thank you.